So the Lenovo Legion Go launched 6 weeks ago on October 31st, and there was so much hype in the months before its release. And I was seriously thinking of getting one to complement my awesome ROG Ally, but then so many other reviews said this.
It's a good device and you can have fun with it, but it's just not for me. I'd personally choose the Ally over this, and I didn't even like the Ally that much.
And this?
But for me personally, it's not really clicking in the way that I hoped it would. To give you an example, I bought this myself from Best Buy, and I have like a 2-week return policy. Now the thing is, if I wasn't a YouTuber and I didn't need to keep this around for other size comparisons and whatnot, I think I probably would have returned it.
And this?
7 reasons why I'm returning the Legion Go. I'm not saying you should return yours, but these are the reasons I'm returning mine.
And finally, this.
This is definitely my 3rd favorite PC handheld. It's a close 3rd though.
And it's not just YouTubers too, with many gamers across social media stating how they are returning their Go's as well. So let's look at what some of the issues with the Go are and the 3 big lessons that we can learn from this. So let's dive straight in and start with one of our absolute favourite tech YouTubers, Russ, over at Retro Game Corps. And one of the issues that he found is that the ergonomics of the Go just feels quite unnatural.
Number 1, let's talk about just the overall design of it. As you can see right here, it kind of has a cutoff or a squarish kind of aspect to it. And this isn't bad. I think it's a fairly ergonomic feel, especially we have these nice big grips. But all the same, this doesn't feel very natural when it comes to the length of your shoulders and your elbows and the way you're actually going to hold a handheld. Instead, you kind of have to tuck your elbows in order to be able to get a full range of motion. And I don't think that's ideal.
Next is Tech Dweeb, who just wasn't a fan at all of the FPS mode, which is one of the Go's biggest features.
I was excited to see how well it worked, and I didn't like it at first. And even after a week or so of using it every day, it still feels awkward. The right Joy-Con does sort of feel like a mouse, but it's not a comfortable mouse. These plasticky bits feel weird under your palm, and it's awkward to push these thumb buttons and use the wheel. And the biggest problem with actually using this is that there's not enough buttons. Most FPS games need access to all the buttons around WASD on the keyboard, and there's not enough buttons here to be able to do all that stuff. I mean, it sort of works, but it's just not a very good experience.
Filterless is a great up-and-coming tech YouTuber who's been putting out awesome content over these past few months, and one of the 7 reasons that he returned the Legion Go was because of half-baked, buggy and incomplete software.
Second is the Legion Space software. I found this software actually degraded the gaming experience where it'd be easier to just play games without it installed. The Legion Space button takes you to ads, a page that shows you games you don't own so that you can purchase them. And there's no way to set up custom controls for games like we see on other handhelds. It's extremely buggy, freezes, crashes, and shouldn't have been released in this state.
And finally, let's turn to another of our tech legends in Wolfden. And one of his issues with the Go is that the huge 1600p screen, is it just unnecessary?
I was already blown away by the ROG Ally screen, and this takes it even further than that. But that's also going to amplify some of my criticisms. For example, why do we need all of that resolution? It's a handheld. This screen might be huge, but do we need that in our hands? Can we really tell the difference that much? It's the law of diminishing returns. The higher up you get, the less you're going to notice it and the less it's going to be worth it. My problem here is that you're going to have to balance visual fidelity and performance because, again, it's a handheld. It's got a lot of power, but it's still a handheld, so it's not a 4090 in your hand.
I'd particularly love to hear from you awesome Legion Go owners in the comments about your experiences with the device. Have you returned yours or are you very happy with it? I think for me there are 3 lessons that we can learn from this. The first is that it's so easy to get swept along in the hype for all of these brand new handhelds, which I know that I'm very guilty of. So perhaps we just need to be a little bit more realistic ahead of their releases. Second is that there's no doubt that the Legion Go software-wise will be so much better in, say, 6 months' time if Lenovo heavily supports it like Valve have done with the Steam Deck and Asus with the Ally. So brand new handhelds like the Go will always have these initial painful first few months after launch. And the third and final lesson is that perhaps we don't have to jump in and buy brand new devices as soon as they launch, unless we're really unhappy with our current handheld, which again I know I'm very guilty of. Be sure to like if you enjoyed this and subscribe if you're new to the channel. And as a little extra bonus for watching right to the end of the video, I'd love to share this awesome quote. Inner peace begins the moment you choose not to allow another person or event to control your emotions. It's so easy to allow other people or situations to rob us of our peace and contentment. So let's try and be as stress-free as possible and stay encouraged today, guys. And check this video out if you want to find out some surprising results from the Ethernet v Wi-Fi test on the PlayStation Portal. I appreciate every single one of you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.